What's up guys, On The Gas here with a brand new video, and we got something different to get into. We all saw this incident between Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin earlier today, and I'm mad, because Chase Elliott probably won't get suspended by NASCAR, and fans are defending Elliott like crazy. So let's back up a little bit before we get into it. Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin were battling with just a handful of laps to go in Stage 2 of the rain-delayed Coca-Cola 600. There was some hard racing between the pair as they were battling for stage points. Dale Earnhardt Jr. mentioned that there was even more contact the lap earlier that the broadcast didn't mention, but it all built up to this moment where Hamlin ran Elliott up into the wall. So this is the exact scenario we saw play out between Kyle Larson and Bubba Wallace last year at Las Vegas. I think some people were comparing the two incidents because they were both a right rear hook, but they were both for the same exact reason. Just like Larson ran Bubba up super high into the wall, Hamlin ran Elliott up towards the wall. I mean, looking at this replay, there was contact between the two drivers for sure, but there was still a lane left for Elliott. To be fair to Elliott, it was probably impossible to keep it off the wall, and he had every right to be mad. But this just was not justified. Like, didn't Carson Hocevar get parked for just attempting to hook someone in the truck race at Martinsville? And we have a precedent in the Cup Series for this. Literally the exact scenario with Bubba Wallace turning Kyle Larson resulted in Bubba getting suspended for a week. It should be a race penalty. I don't see how someone can see it any differently. Like, this was super dangerous and he should absolutely get suspended. These are professionals at the top level of stock car racing in the United States. It's just not acceptable. Someone replied to me on Twitter and said Bubba Wallace should not have gotten suspended for his actions, so Chase Elliott shouldn't in this case. That's a horrible argument. No matter if you agree with the Bubba Wallace penalty, that penalty has been established as the precedent for right rear hooking a driver. You can't argue with that. If NASCAR comes to any other conclusion, then it's just a complete bias and they should be ashamed of themselves. But why would he not be suspended? Well, NASCAR and Hendrick are in bed together, and NASCAR has been accused of showing bias towards Hendrick in the past. Like how NASCAR reached out to Hendrick to prepare the NASCAR Le Mans entry, and reportedly other major teams weren't even contacted. But maybe because of the whole Louver shenanigans earlier in the season, this relationship may still be a little sour. Also, it's apparent that NASCAR believes its race ratings are heavily dependent on Chase Elliott. If Elliott doesn't race next week, will the ratings take a dip? This would be bad for NASCAR after the poor ratings early in the season and coming off a rain-delayed race, which I assume will drop the viewership year over year. To have the most popular driver to be sidelined by NASCAR because of an on-track tantrum would also be embarrassing and a bad look for the sport. I mean, it's already a bad look for the sport, so to not do anything would be like they're endorsing this. Now, just a couple of quick points because I don't want to waste your time. First of all, Keselowski did not turn Elliott down into Hamlin. Elliott started to swing at Hamlin before they ever made contact. If Elliott didn't mean to do it, he would have said in his interview after the fact that he got turned by a car behind. Because he didn't mention that, it probably means it didn't play a factor in the outcome of the incident. Also, if you just look at the replays, this is very evident. Secondly, people are nitpicking the two incidents. I'm referring to the Bubba Wallace one and this one. I've seen arguments saying that Larson and Bubba didn't make contact, so that was unprovoked, but this is justified. Or the fact that there was some contact with Keselowski, it's not the same. Or because Bubba chased Larson all the way down to the apron, it was worse. But actually, this was an even harder hit in my opinion. Because it's not an exact carbon copy of each other, does not mean that they weren't essentially the same thing or that they shouldn't suspend Elliott. But I feel like NASCAR may use a stupid point like this to justify not suspending Elliott. People are also saying that Bubba was suspended for the combination of the on-track incident and what happened on the track afterwards between him, Larson, and the NASCAR official. But this is not the case either. Steve O'Donnell stated in response to Bubba's situation, "When we look at how that incident occurred, in our minds it was a really dangerous act that we all thought was intentional and put other competitors at risk. Nothing about what happened afterwards, just the incident." Elliot's actions were intentional, dangerous, and put others at risk. Also shout out to Clint Boyer for calling Elliot out in the booth immediately. Fans are not stupid. When a driver does something intentional, fans can tell. Sometimes the booth loves to play dumb to defend drivers, but Clint did not do that in this case. And the last thing here is actually an interesting thought. Who replaces Elliot if he's rightfully suspended? The obvious choice may be Josh Berry, who replaced Elliot and Alex Bowman both earlier in the season. However, the Xfinity Series will be in Portland next week, where Josh Berry will be racing in order to compete for the championship. Is it realistic to think that they'll have Berry running back and forth between Gateway and Portland? Probably not. Anyway, I just wanted to get this off my chest and give my reaction to this incident. I usually don't do these sorts of videos, but if you want more instant reactions like this, let me know down in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.